All right. Hello, hello. Gonna do a quick sound check to make sure that my microphone is on. I am so bad about not quite having the microphone on to do and doing my whole presentation and then nobody hearing it. So let me do a double check to make sure I can hear. Yay! Microphone's working. Okay, great, 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 great. So, hello and welcome. So, let's go ahead and get started. I am so glad you're here. Drop some hearts, say hi, tell me where you're from, anything in the comments. Just let me know that you're here and you're listening and you're ready to soak in all this great information that is going to help you stop sabotaging your weight loss goal. Okay, so as promised, I'm going to go over a little bit about why you're self-sabotaging your health and weight loss efforts, 3 ways it might manifest in your life, and how to change it so your outcome is different next time and you finally break through and stick to your healthy lifestyle changes. So you are in the right place if you're wondering why you sabotage your efforts to eat healthy and lose weight for good. If you're done reinventing the wheel and you want someone to tell you what works and what doesn't for real, you want to discover what is keeping you stuck so that you can actually get unstuck, and you're ready to finally have a healthy relationship with food so you can allow your best self to shine. If any of these describe you, then you're in exactly the right place. In fact, this is for you, and it's no accident that we're together because, well, first, how did I end up here talking about self-sabotage? So a little bit about me. If you don't know me, I'm Heather. Hi. And I'm a transformational health and lifestyle coach specializing in mindset and habit change. That's the key there. And I've been working with women over the past 6 to 7 years to update their mindsets, make peace with their bodies, rev up their metabolisms, and get unstuck from unconscious habits that are holding them back from living a life they love in a body they love. But I wasn't always here, feeling in control and feeling good about walking around in the skin that I'm in. In fact, there was a point in time where I had let my crazy busy life just own me. My stress levels trying to stay at the top of the pecking order at my job while simultaneously trying to raise 2 kids and run a household was taking its toll on me mentally and physically. My eating wasn't the best. I ate a lot of comfort foods and drank my fair share of wine to kind of take the edge off of things and feel good, at least in the moment. And combine those poor eating and drinking behaviors, lots of carbs, lots of sugars, with a sedentary desk job, no real exercise to speak of, and me crashing into my 40s. Well, the weight just started to pile on. And before I'd realized it, I had gained 20 pounds and the seams of my pants were at dangerous risk of coming apart. No joke. I was miserable. I had no energy, and I'd literally come home after work and just crash. No quality time for my kids. And I hated my reflection in the mirror. Like to the point of launching scathing criticisms at myself for letting myself go. The person in the mirror just wasn't me. And I knew I needed to get the weight off. But the crazy part was I struggled. Struggled to get it off. All the old tricks I'd used when I was young to shed weight fast for a wedding or a beach vacation just didn't work. Like starvation diets, magic pills, the all apple diet. That's one that I made up. All of them just failed to get the needle on the scale to budge in the right direction. It was like my metabolism had completely come to a stop, and I was about to throw the towel in and give up until I discovered how my self-sabotaging behaviors and mindsets were impacting my success. And using that understanding with the system we'll talk about a little bit later to help me lose weight and stay healthy without all the crazy diets and deprivation, and to feel in control of my relationship of food and learn to love myself again. But before I forget, stay on to the end because I've got a really cool surprise for you that will help you break free from the mindsets and habits that have been holding you back. So, Today, I'm going to take you a step in the right direction by taking you behind the curtain and showing you a key piece for success that the health and wellness and diet books almost always leave out. Like, we all know what to do, right? Eat more veggies, drink more water, ditch the junk food. So, why the heck can't we do it? It all comes down to mindset and our unconscious beliefs and behaviors. And that's where I specialize. So, let's learn a little bit more so that you can break through, because your subconscious is running the show, and I'm here to help you break through and make lasting change for life. Okay, so let's talk about self-sabotage. You may or may not know, but our self-sabotage is driven by emotion. In fact, most everything we do in life is driven by emotion. Let that sink in for a bit and pay attention as you go through your day and recognize the emotions that are lingering there right underneath the surface that help dictate the choices that you make. We think we're like these Spock-like creatures. Yeah, I totally just made a Star Trek reference. We think we're analytically going through life, but we're really being led day by day by our emotions. And our emotions often get the best of us. Sabotaging our efforts at having a healthy lifestyle is one of the ways that it happens. So, you've been kicking butt on your New Year's resolutions. We'll just pretend that, right? And your New Year's resolutions of being a happier, healthier you. Show me some hearts if you're still kicking butt on the New Year's resolutions that you started in January and have pushed through quarantine. If you are still kicking butt, show me some hearts, because you're a freaking hero. It's huge. You're a hero. If you're still on track kicking butt, taking names, I'm like virtually high-fiving you from my desk right now. Because some recent research has shown that most people abandon their New Year's health resolutions by like the middle of January, right? Just a couple of weeks in. And so if you're one of those people who has already thrown in the towel, or quarantine has just thrown a huge monkey wrench into things, you may be wondering, like, what the heck happened? Despite your best intentions, right? Despite those best intentions, you wanted it to be different. But why did this happen? And why did this happen again? So when you started to make change, and maybe even started to see changes for the positive, or your brain sabotaged you, setting off alarms and sent you spiraling into old destructive habits. Whether it's binging, starving, exercising like crazy, or you completely dropped the ball on exercising, you're depriving yourself of sleep or rest, or eating junk foods that just rob you of energy or simply don't make you feel good, right? So rest assured, it's totally normal and you're not a failure because of it. So let me give you a little peek underneath the hood of what's going on in your brain. So think of yourself as having three types of brains. Three types of brains. And I'm talking about how things function, like the roles different parts of your brain has. So there's this conscious thinking mind, and this is the one who's making these grand plans for a bikini-clad summer vacation where you're absolutely loving the skin you're in, and all your friends are just telling you like how freaking amazing you look. That's the part of the brain that loves change. It's all about change and personal growth. And then there's the limbic part of the brain. And this bad boy is involved with the emotional spectrum of feeling and eating, and especially in response to stress, fear, and anxiety. And then there's this primal part of the brain. Some people call it the reptile brain. I like to call it the critter brain, which is all about keeping you safe, kicking in the sympathetic nervous system so that we can run to keep us from getting eaten by a bear, or like the modern day angry bear, our boss on a deadline. And a lot of times our desire to eat or to not eat gets tangled up with our emotions. So you're doing great on your New Year's resolutions. We're pretending, right? You've lost some weight. You feel lighter, more energetic. The next thing you know, your brain is whispering in your ear, we've been doing pretty good. I think we really deserve some chocolate. And I know exactly where you hid some in the cabinet from the kids. What the heck is going on here? Like, weren't you just riding the high of success and now you're on the precipice of spiraling back to where you started by eating all the candy in the cabinet? So while your conscious brain loves change, the rest of it does not. And even though your conscious brain is cheering you along, saying, yay, you've got this, you're awesome, your brain may send a stress signal to the limbic area because all this change is unfamiliar with the norm and it responds with anxiety. So think back to a time when you had cravings for something. It may have been last week. It may have been 5 freaking minutes ago. Think about the feelings that are going on in your body. There's a little twinge of anxiety going on in your gut, isn't there? It's almost like your brain has FOMO for whatever you're craving. It's kind of like your subconscious is throwing a temper tantrum. Like, can't you see I'm doing something good here? And the next thing you know, you've got your hand in the candy jar because the FOMO anxiety is too much and it's motivated you to want to eat to come back into balance. Even if it isn't a balance we consciously consider healthy. Because at some point in our past, we created a habit loop that said, when I am stressed or feel anxious or even want to celebrate, I eat and it makes me feel good. And it is a program running in the background of your brain like a computer virus. Get it? So we all have these programs running for all aspects of our life. And the trick is to understand that program, why we have it in our system, what it is doing there, like how is it helping us exactly, and then rewrite the code for it. So there are typically 3 big self-sabotage scenarios I've noticed with my clients in my coaching practice. The first one is something else always seems more important. The second one is desiring acceptance. And the third one is I've been good. I deserve a little extra, just like I talked about a second ago. So let's take a few seconds to talk about each of these and see which one might apply to you and then get to the good stuff where we take action so we can break through and break past our self-sabotage to find success. So the first scenario is something else always seems more important. And you'll see this manifest in your life where something else is always going to get in the way of your progress. You get too busy and your healthy lifestyle gets pushed to the bottom of the priority list. I see this time and time again with clients. You never get any me time and everything else takes precedence over you. Like you schedule time with yourself to go work out at 5 p.m. Cue that inner voice stepping in to tell you that you probably should keep working on that big project at work, or that you need to make dinner for the family or get some laundry done because there's piles and piles sitting around. The procrastination list is endless. And even if you say you'll work out tomorrow, that little voice will rise up again with a new list of things that needs to be prioritized over you. Does this sound like you? If it does, give me a thumbs up in the comments to let me know that you're out there. So the second scenario is desiring acceptance. And you'll see this manifest in your life where you do things you don't want to do in order not to disappoint or let other people down. There's a little tinge of conflict avoidance here. So think of it like that stereotypical grandma who says, oh, you're so skinny and you need to eat. Right? So you go to her house. She's made your favorite dinner, including dessert, and you didn't plan on eating. Maybe you even ate beforehand. So when you only took a little, she starts inquiring if you're on a diet and tells you how you're withering away. And it just feels so awkward. And before you know it, your plate is full of food. And even though you started to feel sick because you were eating so much, you couldn't stop because you didn't want to disappoint her by leaving food on the plate because she spent all that time to cook it for you. Does it sound like you? If it does, give me a thumbs up in the comments and let me know you're out there. And lastly, and this is a scenario I hear a lot from my clients, and I've been guilty of this one too. I mean, I'm human. That's what makes me a good coach because I've actually been there. I've been good lately, so I deserve a little extra. Or I've worked hard, so I deserve a little extra. Or my day has been stressful, so I deserve a glass of wine. You get the picture. This is for you if you love the punish reward system. Like, this is so me. Like, I grew up in a strict household, so it kind of totally makes sense. You find you reward yourself for good, and I'm using air quotes there, behaviors, and punish yourself for bad, air quotes again, behaviors. Some of us will make up punishing deals with ourselves, such as tomorrow I'll eat celery sticks and like 5 wheat thins all day and spend an hour running on the treadmill to make up for the ice cream that I had today. And it really never ever works because it sometimes never happens. You just keep doing the same things, making bargains with yourselves. In many cases, reward systems really are quite useful as long as they're not destructive. So if we know we are going to have a planned cheat day where we can eat certain things and we don't have to kind of like eat behind our own backs or sneak pleasurable indulgences, then it's good because it's more contained and psychologically it curbs cravings or eliminates the compulsion to sabotage later. Punishment strategies often lead to bigger binges than we would do if we just gave ourselves permission to eat whatever we want versus punishing ourselves for losing control. There's like a self-loathing desire to self-destruct when we've been, air quotes again, bad, that puts us at war with ourselves and prevents us from achieving the healing we desire. And this is where like this negative spiral kicks in for us. Does this sound like this? Does this sound like you? If it does, give me a thumbs up in the comments so that I know you're out there. This is totally me. So our self-sabotage can be triggered from 2 directions. It can be external or internal, and the behavior of your friends, coworkers, and family, or from your own inner rebellion. Others watching us venture into this healthier lifestyle may make comments or they may rebel against us purposely or not purposely. You may notice that some people close to you feel threatened when you embark on this kind of journey, and they will tempt you with food, drink, and activities that you're trying to move away from. Sometimes we feel guilty when others feel threatened. It's not your fault. They feel bad about you wanting to make positive change. And we sabotage ourselves to be accepted and avoid that conflict. So that desiring acceptance sabotage scenario kicks in. And a lot of times all these self-sabotage scenarios do kick in bits and pieces, but one or another may be more dominant. So those reactions we have boil down to one emotion, and it's fear. Fear of not being loved and fear of not being accepted. So others around us who don't have the courage to take the bold steps that we want to living a healthier life may consciously or unconsciously hope we fail. You're changing. Like our success would be uncomfortably challenging for them. They'd be forced to face their own desires to change. And as we take a step toward valuing ourselves more and caring about ourselves more, our relationships are forced to change. And our own inner rebellion is often based on our fear of change. Our brains love balance. Remember I said that earlier? And change takes us out of that balance, and that can be scary. But rationally, we know taking responsibility and control over our lives in a healthy manner is a good thing. You cannot debate that with me. So what if we no longer could hide behind excuses for not becoming everything we want? To allow ourselves to really be who we truly are. So I have some action items for you to help you break through. So grab a piece of paper and a pen and let's get you on track for some awesomeness. So I have a couple of questions for you to help you dig deeper behind the curtain on your behaviors. So first question. There we go. What are 5 good reasons for getting everything you want? For example, more confidence, better clothes, more energy to play with your kids, more respect at work, maybe a promotion. You can get back in the pictures and stop hiding, or feel comfortable dating again if that's where you are at this stage in life. Just let the creative juices flow. Write down whatever comes to mind first. And don't let your inner mean girl discredit any of your answers. Just write. Drop some sexy emotions in there because we're emotional creatures. And if you go past 5, awesome. Keep them coming till the well runs dry. All right. So the second question, what are all the bad reasons for getting what you want? This is where your deep-seated limiting beliefs are going to hide. Just like little children back there. Like And this is a real limiting belief, especially if you've been hurt before. If I lose weight, I might attract dangerous attention and I might not be able to keep myself safe. In fact, if I lose the weight, I'll make myself vulnerable to getting hurt or worse. Or if I achieve my goal weight, I'm afraid of losing it or regressing, or I won't be able to keep up with the regimen, or I'll just be waiting for the bottom to fall out. Or if I lose all this weight, I'll have to give up everything I love for the rest of my life. Who can go a whole lifetime without eating ice cream? And how is that a life worth living? Really? Like, I have a friend that always says that. It's about beer specifically, but I always smile and nod because I know better. There are as many unique fears as there are people on this planet. Like, take a good moment and really try to identify that fear tape that's running in your head. And they may have been planted there by you or by somebody close to you. You may have spent years watching your mom yo-yo diet unsuccessfully and believe that it didn't work for her, so it's not going to work for you. Like, it's just genetics. I was just born this way. I was born to be overweight. No, you know what I mean? All these reasons you have one thing in common. Our powerful subconscious minds believe that rationalizing ourselves out of weight loss will somehow actually protect us. Can you see how your limiting beliefs are causing you to sabotage and keep the weight on, yet it actually has a positive intention for you, a protective intention for you? You might even say it's a functional strategy for you. Okay. So now it's time to gently challenge your fears and limiting beliefs. We're going to do some hole poking. So I want you to question your reasons and poke holes in the logic so you can remove their power over you and start to reprogram those thoughts. Most often, your reasons are just stories you've made up, aka excuses, to keep you safe and comfortable where you are, because you think there's a big hairy monster out there and it's actually just a purring kitty cat. I had to bring the kitty cat back up there on the screen. You may feel like losing weight is impossible. It'll take forever and you'll have to give up everything you love. And that's simply not true. I'm living proof of it. Tell yourself all the reasons why. Poke holes. Be unapologetic about it. Like, or if you've tried this before and you're tired of failing, like, why go through all the pain if nothing good comes in the end? And perhaps what you tried before from a diet standpoint wasn't sustainable. Was it an all liquid diet? Was it an all meat diet? Like, that stuff's just not sustainable. I mentioned earlier, I did an all apple diet when I was in my 20s. That did not end well. Like, you're worth taking another shot. Your desires to change likely aren't going to diminish. So ask yourself, why can't it be different this time? All right, so let's poke some holes in some examples. Like, I'm scared of dating. I know if I lose the weight, I'll have no excuse not to get out there and start dating. Can you see how that might be a functional strategy to keep the weight on? It's like procrastination. What about dating are you scared of? Have you been hurt before? Are you worried about being rejected? Are you scared if you get in a serious relationship, your partner will be a turd like the last one? Like, are you scared to put yourself out there? And what if all there is awesomeness waiting for you, your soulmate waiting for you? Or I'm worried I'll never be able to eat a hamburger, ice cream, tacos, or whatever your favorite food is again, and I will always feel deprived, like something's missing. Why do you have to give everything up? Anything that demands you give up your favorite foods is going to set you up for failure. Why? Because you're going to obsess about it. Deprivation is just not sustainable. What if you could enjoy your favorite foods while losing weight? So take some time and really go through this exercise, challenge your fears, and counter them with how you believe your life will be better if you lose the weight. or better yet, when you lose the weight. This is the first step to really conquering your patterns of sabotage so you can reprogram your brain for health and weight loss success. So, if you're still listening and excited and want some more support to put this strategy into action, plus some other hacks, tons of other hacks to really help you kickstart things so that you can finally give up the diet mentality and learn to eat intuitively like I do, so that you can keep the weight off for life. Well, then remember I had something special for you. So you can grab all my free resources. I have a ton of them out there. I'm adding more every week because I want to help you kickstart lasting change. So go ahead and go out to glowforlifefitness.com/resources and grab them all. There are a ton of things out there. There's helpful videos that are going to help you completely overhaul your mindset around food and who you are when you're eating so that you can find success. I've got smoothie recipes out there. I've got healthy recipes out there. There are a ton of things out there that are going to help you kickstart lasting change. So go out there, check them out. They're all completely free out there for you. glowforlifefitness.com/resources. Check them out. And that's it. I thank you so much for coming out and listening to me. Take care, and I will talk to you soon. See you later.